Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next update for my Panda palette. I'm excited to share with you the progress as always. It's going pretty well with this product, not amazing, but I'm happy with where I am with this palette. So without any further ado, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. But let's just jump in to where I was with this palette at the last update. So I'm going to scooch to the side here so you can fit the pictures up here, but as you can see, this is where I was with this palette last month, and I did have pan on all of the eyeshadows from the last update. I had pan on the last shade, which is Foxy, at the last update. So that is, like I said, where I was, and this is where I am with this palette right now. So some good uses on it. I mean, I always say this, but it's harder to track usage, I think, or like set goals and things when you hit pan, or at least until you're close enough to like maybe hit side pan or finish halfway or things like that. So that's the difference anyway, so you can see how much damage I've done, but I'm going to go into the usage of each eyeshadow. So the first shade we have in the palette is Venus, which is the kind of only satin or shimmery shade in the palette, and I use this mainly as a highlighter. In the past month I have used this 24 times, so that's pretty good. In the month prior, in July, I didn't use this as much, so I really wanted to make a mental note to step up my usage game on this, and I definitely think I did. So 24 uses on this, and I definitely have kind of expanded the pan downwards because that's where I've been focusing my brush. So I think you can see a difference in the pan, or like in the pictures. I'm really hoping so. When I looked at the pictures, it looks like there is a bit of a difference, but it's really hard to tell honestly with a picture before I actually have them side by side. So yeah, that is where I am with this eyeshadow. Again, I'm not worried about finishing this. I definitely think I will be able to do so before the end of the year because it's getting thinner on the edges, and I know that also in winter I can easily use this as a highlighter on my cheeks if I can't finish this with eyeshadow. So that is the first shade. The next one is Foxy, which is the one that I had pan on, like I said, last update, and I have expanded the pan on this a little bit more, and I have used this an additional 12 times. So not as much as I did the prior month, but I have kind of split my usage between Foxy and Walk of Shame. I want to kind of use them both evenly, so that's what I've done. But I'm wearing, for example, Foxy today when I'm doing more kind of warm tone looks, and that's why I have 12 uses. So again, I think I'll definitely be able to finish this because I only really started focusing on Foxy in maybe like June, I think. So it didn't take too long to hit pan on it, and it is a shade that I can use quite a lot of, and I use it not to set my eyeshadow base because I like a tacky base, but I use it a lot to blend out the edges up here, and like if I brought in my crease color too far, or if I just get like some darkness in this area, I use the eyeshadows that way. So yeah, I can use a lot of this, and yeah, I definitely think this will 100% be gone by the end of the year. So with Walk of Shame, I have used this 14 times. Again, pretty similar to how I used Foxy. I used them both in the same way, and with this one I definitely think I've expanded the pan quite a lot because I really tried to focus on this and use as much as I could out of this eyeshadow this month, because I actually want to Franken Walk of Shame with some other things and make a new eyeshadow in here. So I'm going to do that after filming. It will probably take quite a while until that video comes up because I have quite a few things already in my video schedule. So yeah, it will probably take a few weeks for that video to come up, but I will film it after this video so you know that it was filmed on the day of the update. But yeah, I think I will do that with Walk of Shame. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to mix into this in a second, but yeah, I definitely would Franken that because I have both these shades and I can use them both in the same manner. I, at the beginning of the year, was worried that Foxy would be too dark for me in winter, but I actually feel like Walk of Shame almost might be a little bit darker than Foxy. There's different undertones, and because of that I don't feel like I need to have both of these shades anymore, and that's why I want to Franken Walk of Shame in order to make some of the other shades a bit later. So when it comes to Naked 2, I used this eyeshadow in my eyebrows, and I have used this 24 times in the last month. Again, I'm pretty steady with this one. I think that I should be able to finish this up, but I'm getting to a point now where I'm not quite sure, because when I'm doing the soap eyebrow method that I'm doing now, I'm using way less of my brow powders or these eyeshadows that I use as brow powders, because it kind of really like fluffs them up, and I don't want to fill them in completely. I just kind of want to fill in the sparse areas. So I've definitely been using less of Naked 2 and Faint, but I'm hopeful that I still will be able to finish this up if I just continuously work on it. And again, I can still use this eyeshadow as a transition shade for cool tone looks, so I think I might start doing that now when we're getting into cooler months, because I really haven't been feeling that in summer. But I think that will really help me get some more use out of this shade, and if I use it both of those ways, I think I should be able to finish this before the end of the year as well. So when it comes to Faint, which is this shade right here, I have used this 27 times. I don't know if you can see too much difference in the pictures, because honestly with this one I use such a little amount because I use it in my brows, and it is a really pigmented shade. I have used it in my eye looks a little bit prior, not this past month though, but more kind of early in the year, and hopefully I will be able to use it a bit more that way as well when I go for those cool tone looks. But I have decided to actually franken a bit of Faint in with Walk of Shame to make this lighter, and I'm gonna mix in some other things too to switch up the undertone a bit, but you will have to check out my frankening video to see that, because I don't want to spoil anything yet. But I am gonna use a little bit of Faint to mix into Walk of Shame. I'm suspecting that I don't need much of Faint because it is so pigmented, and I don't want it to turn out too dark, so we'll see how much of this eyeshadow I actually end up frankening, but I really hope that will help me a little bit more when it comes to using this up. But I really don't think I will be able to finish this before the end of the year, because one, like I said, it is very pigmented, and also it's not a shade that I use too often apart from in my brows. Then we have the last shade, which is Crave. With Crave, I feel like I've partially given up on this shade now, because I know that I won't be able to finish it, and it is such a pigmented black that I don't mind keeping it after kind of panning this palette. I might move it into like one of my single pans and add to my singles collection. But I only used this once in the past month. If I want to reach for black, this is the black I'm gonna reach for, so I'm still gonna get some use out of this in the next coming months, but I'm not gonna focus on panning it anymore because I don't reach for blacks very often. And yeah, I feel like I don't want to force myself because I know that I won't be able to finish it anyway. So my main focus is now going to be with these 5 shades right here. But yeah, I feel like I'm doing quite well with this. I haven't finished anything yet, which is a bit kind of worrying, but also I know that I'm getting pretty even progress in all of the shades. The only one I would say is a bit behind is Foxy, and then obviously Faint and Crave. But with the franking of Faint, I'm hoping that's going to help, and also with Foxy, I only started focusing on this pretty recently. So with that kind of even progress throughout all of the pans, I think that I should be able to hopefully finish them up kind of around the same time, which I'm hoping to be close to by the end of the year. But that, you guys, was my update for my Panda palette. As I said before, I'm not going to set any goals in this anymore because I do use all of these shades on a pretty much everyday basis, or at least on a regular basis, apart from Crave, because yeah, I used to explain why. But all of the other shades I do use really often, and you can probably see that as well reflected in my numbers. So I'm not going to put any goals on this, I just want to continue using it as much as I can. But I will take a photo of this obviously now for the update. That's what you're seeing right here, or you saw throughout the video, but also one after I franken, so I will add that in to the next update, so you will see kind of my starting point after I franken the eyeshadows. But that is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know how you're doing with your Panda palette down below, and otherwise I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.